Install a Bluetooth streaming music and Bluetooth phone dongle in your vehicle for under $30. Today I'm going to be working on a 2004 Mercedes-Benz CLK 320. All you need on your vehicle is to make sure that you have an auxiliary input, and once you have an auxiliary input, you can go ahead and hook up the system. It's really simple to do, and it'll give you all of the Bluetooth functionality that a lot of the newer cars come with. Here's the SoundBot Bluetooth dongle that we're going to use. And basically, this will allow us to answer calls, scroll through music selections, and do other commands using the buttons on this particular unit. I really recommend getting a line regulator for the auxiliary input as well. It really makes the noise coming out of the auxiliary input a lot better, and it will stop any distortion or any electrical noise coming through your speakers. So it's definitely a nice thing to get. Now, as you can see, this Bluetooth system will have a USB input for the power source as well as a cable for the auxiliary input. However, the auxiliary input on this car is in the dash, and it's located right there. And because it's located right there, and the cigarette lighter is here, that really would give us a mess of wires everywhere if we wanted to use that system, and basically go ahead and plug the wire into the glove box and then also get power from the cigarette lighter. So to fix this issue, we're going to need a 12-volt DC inverter. This is the 12-volt DC inverter. Sorry if you can't read the script down there well. But basically, this is what's going to give us power for our USB cables. And it's going to do that because this unit will come with 2 female USB connectors, so that we can use the power source from this inverter to safely power our USB-powered Bluetooth system. So now that we know what's required to go ahead and make the system work, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what you need to do to get this installed. It's really simple. For my installation, I don't like cutting my wires. So what I've done is I've actually found a power source that's always on when the vehicle's ignition is on, and that's actually my glove box light. So I've taken power from my glove box light and have used that for the power source of my Bluetooth dongle. And the nice thing is that my glove box light still works, and the connector for the glove box light will give me power when I need it. And that's only when the car is on. I don't want this DC inverter on all the time. So, the way that I actually got power from this glove box light is by making sure to first test the wires coming out of the connector to ensure I know which one is positive and which one is ground. Generally speaking, on a Mercedes-Benz, the brown wire is ground, but I went ahead and tested it anyway just to make sure. And sure enough, the brown was the actual ground, and then the black with the yellow stripe was the power. And because I don't like cutting the factory wiring of my vehicle, what I've done is I've actually opened up the connector, and it's nice because the Mercedes allows you to open up the connector. I've opened up my connector, and I've inserted the black wire with the brown wire, which is the ground on this vehicle, and the red wire, which is the positive, or the hot, into the corresponding terminals. Now, all I have to do is close this black flap, or this black plastic connector for the tab, and that will allow me to make sure that I have a solid connection here. And as you can hear, that just clicked in. So all I'm going to do now is insert that back into the light, and then once it's into the light, I can go ahead and put the glove box back in its correct position. And just another quick note about the wiring. You guys can use quick connects, you guys can use a soldering method, which probably would be the best, where you would strip some of the insulation on the wires and actually solder the wires into the corresponding cables, but I don't really like doing that because I don't want to cut the factory wiring in my vehicle, and I have a very solid connection here which I feel certain is going to stay. Again, that's up to you, but just making sure I let you guys know of that. So I've closed the plastic tab and I've put the connector back into the glove box light. Now I'm just going to put the glove box light back into its opening, which is inside the glove box on the top side of the glove box. As you can see, now this unit is installed. So I have a 12-volt inverter that's basically going to take the voltage from the vehicle and take it down to 5 volts, 3 amps max, which is perfect to power USB devices or recharge your cellular phone or power a navigation system or hardwired GPS, anything. So basically this item's really nice because it gives you 2 ports. So you have 2 female USBs which you can plug things into. I've routed the other one underneath the actual CD changer and it comes down right there. And that's really nice because it gives me more options if I want to charge something inside the glove box or get power for a USB powered device. Now this item, I've hooked up the USB dongle into it and I've tested it and it's getting power. This lets me know that it's turning on, so now all I have to do is connect the rest of the stuff up to the actual auxiliary port. So once I have my cables hooked into the auxiliary port noise canceller and I've made sure all of the wires are neatly tucked in, I'm just going to go ahead and plug this into the auxiliary port. So now that it's plugged into the auxiliary port and I've tested it to make sure that I have power, I'm just going to make sure that this is actually going to work. So what I need to do now is I need to pair my phone to the actual SoundBot SB360, and the code for that is going to be 1234 or 000 if it asks for a Bluetooth code. And just to show you guys that the SoundBot is going to turn on, I'm going to go ahead and hit the ignition, and you guys will see a blue light illuminate on the SoundBot unit. There's the glove box, and if you can see, the blue light's illuminated on the SoundBot unit. So basically my glove box still works, and if I pretend to close it with the switch, it turns off, but the SoundBot is still on. This is a really nice setup for me because it allows me to have the SoundBot on whenever the car's on, but also have a working glove box light. So on my command head unit, to get to the auxiliary port, I have to actually do a couple of things. I have to hit the SVC button, go to System Settings, and then from the System Settings, go into the auxiliary sound source. So now I'm in the sound source, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my phone. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my Spotify. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this is going to work correctly. I've already linked it to the Bluetooth system, the SoundBot SB360, so I know that's working correctly. So now I'm just going to try to play some music and see if it works. So let's see what happens here. I'm just going to turn on the music and I'm going to turn up the volume. So, as you can see, it's working. We're getting music streaming through here. And the nice thing is, now I can just use the SB360 controller once I mount it anywhere into the dash and go ahead and forward and reverse music. So I just forwarded that. Just forwarded that. So this is all working great. And to stop the music, I just hit the top button, and it stops. So that's really cool, making sure that that works correctly. But now let's try to make a quick phone call. Let's see if it rings correctly. Just 1 second while it starts ringing. Yep. And that starts to ring. And the nice thing is, everything's controlled via the car's head unit. So, you know, it's hands-free, so it comes out through the car's head unit speakers and the speakers within the vehicle. You can use your phone to fast-forward music or call people, and you can also use this handy controller that the SoundBot has to play music, stop music, fast-forward, reverse, and do some other basic commands as well. So all in all, this is a really nice setup, especially for under $30 combined for the inverter and the SoundBot system, and you also get the added benefit of having another USB charging port. The thing is, the installation is simple, it's reversible, it gives you a lot of functionality for the price, and it's just a great way to add a newer car feature to your older vehicle. So now this 2004 Mercedes-Benz has Bluetooth with streaming music, which is great. If you guys have any questions or comments, just leave them below. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'd really greatly appreciate it. And also guys, if you have any requests for any videos, let me know. I can definitely help you out and try my best to do anything that you ask for. Have a great day guys, and thanks for watching my video.